Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Trade Intelligence Weekly newsletter. Just some topics we're going to be talking about today, and we'll also introduce you to the Trade Hub now. That's finally ready and ready to go live. Well, it's live, and we'll show you things on that, which is quite exciting. Again, we're going to be talking about different areas. So, first, a bit of goods inwards and exports, how the UK is performing. Obviously, you can see exports around 33.1 billion, imports still very high, but very much driven by imports. Trade deficit is getting obviously wider. These are sources from national statistics, so we're not making this up. You need to get them exports up. Government needs to really start to support exporters. We just don't seem to get it or understand it. And you're just driving more cost, more imports come in, more costs, possible inflations, all the other things that, associated with that. Remember, what a lot of people misunderstand, and one of the challenges we have is the majority of them imports coming in will be going into manufacturing. Some will be coming in as wholesale, as we said, so they come in and then they'll be sold out like clothing and things like that. But there'll be a lot of goods that are coming in on the, as raw materials coming in, and then it's added into the manufacturing to either export or service to UK. That deficit is high, but if there's a fluctuation in cost there, that has a huge effect on the manufacturing side. So, again, we need to start understanding how we trade, different ways. Not convinced personally of the last 10 years of governments, and not convinced with the people they have by the side. That's just an honest opinion. There's too many people in these positions that have no idea on international trade, and that's why nothing moves, because that's the reality. It's got nothing to do with deficits and everything else. The UK is a standalone, huge opportunity in international market. Do we know that? No. And that's the issue you have. Too many players in positions that don't really understand trade. And that's the challenge you have. But unfortunately, we have to live with that. It's been going on for years. I get frustrated with it. I just sit back. I'm old enough now to complain about it. I've been in that mire trying to support lots of things, but you just get forgotten about because you're not part of that clan, as they all say, within trade. GBP, we're seeing 133 on the US dollar. So again, quite good for buying. Obviously, exporting challenges again. So how do you get this exports up? The euro 117 again, when it's lower, it's easy to export. Higher it is, it's costing more to bring in. When do we realize these challenges we have? Does anybody look at data? Really challenging times at the moment. It really frustrates me. Market signals, what we're seeing Asia, Europe, 10% week on week, so up, week on week Asian and West Coast. We're seeing some stats and the UK India free trade agreement. So again, our data's we're looking at different datas. We're looking at costs going up. So the Asian and Europe is going up 10%, 8%. You've got the Strait of Hormuz. We've got all the challenges with that. So again, it'd be interesting to see that. Again, trade intelligence, what's it telling us? FTA agree, around freight markets remain volatile. We know that. We need to kind of adjust and see how we're going to do that. But the thought of the UK moving away from China and everything else is really, somebody living in a little box somewhere, because that's not going to happen. China is still a huge player. Yes, there's other opportunities around there, but again, this is the problem. We've bedded ourselves into so much into China and other markets that it's very hard to come out of that. But again, it'll be interesting to see. But it's volatile. The market's volatile. That has an effect. UK exports continue to improve, it's saying, but we're seeing a little bit of improvement. Oh God, we should be doing far better. Oil prices remain elevated. We know with crude oil, it's 86.10. Continues to put pressure on logistics costs. Again, it's a great way for any logistics and shipping lines to increase cost. Never comes down, does it? Always goes up. You never see it coming down, do you? Customer never sees that. So again, these are the things you have to consider. Customs compliance board, lower priority, regular. These are the challenges. The audits I'm doing, the customs and the simplified, as we say, customs and supply chain diagnostics, health check, you can do it online, get an idea of where you are. It's very important. Or get somebody in. I've been doing lots of visits recently. We're finding holes or challenges for companies, but we're not there to say you do anything wrong. We're just there to fill that gap to make sure then you can increase your sales, your profitability, and the red areas. We call it the traffic light system has been using for the last 3 or 4 years. when it works, it makes you scrutinize and really look at the key areas that you need to look at. The greens are fine, it's working. Why leave it alone. Ambers and reds are the key areas, and red is the most important. You might be hemorrhaging money that's unnecessarily to you. India, we thought would export opportunity. India, our scores came out on our intelligence hub as around 94, it says, because obviously the FTA is live. It's a growing economy. It's a manufacturing, it's technology, it's professional services. Lots of opportunities there, not just for imports, but certainly for our exports. Take advantage of it. Get yourselves out there. See where the opportunities are. Again, there's opportunities. Don't rely on the government. Whatever you do, don't rely on these hubs, growth hubs, and everything else. Get yourself out there. It's so important that you drive it, not somebody else. Drive your social, drive your own everything you can do to get yourselves into these markets. It's very important. Or find yourself a really good distributor. That'd be worthwhile. Probably so an agent in India who knows the market. Again, maybe work in that sense. Get yourselves a foothold in the opportunity of the Indian market. It's huge, huge opportunity. As we say, freight volatility is very much the high volatility in ocean, freight moderate pressure, fuel prices are elevated, port congestion obviously will build, transit times are extended because obviously we've got them challenges within there. Supply chain risk, as we always say, your exposure, it's elevated because of a lot of things that you can't control. So we're saying it's around 4,600. We think that's red. We think the freight volatility is red, and lots of companies really struggle in logistics and the freight side. Again, talk to us. That's what the hub's for. Again, trade intelligence creates competitive advantages. It's very clear. It's better decisions beyond global events. It gives you these, but you have to do it yourself. Again, if I can give you any advice from somebody who's been doing this a long time, I work with companies and organizations, but actually doing it yourself is the way that you make the better decisions in my, you have the gut feelings, where you get your salespeople trained up, get them trained up on Incoterms, costing, documentation, all the key things that play a pivotal role. Commodity codes, understanding your origin. These are the key things that you need to understand. And that's why we always say, are you audit ready? It's not been audit ready, but it's been, and we probably miss, when we talk about the customer's diagnostics was never designed for audit. It was designed to put you in a position where you can export or import comfortably, knowing that, first of all, you're not absorbing any cost or wasting any cost. And secondly, that if you did have an audit, you are fully compliant because you understand everything you should be doing, like, documents, keeping documents, making sure you're checking your customs entries, checking all your documents, making sure you're storing all your documents, making sure you're aware that checking your CPC codes if you're doing things like returns and repairs and all these kind of areas, or customs warehouse, making sure you're fully compliant. That's what the whole point of the customs diagnostic. It was never there to say, oh, if you have an audit, it's there to prepare you for an audit, but it's there to actually get you on ready. And what it's done from that is the hub. So you do the diagnostics, and what the diagnostics does, it puts all your data into a hub. You've got your own hub, which it's like a compliance manager. It's like a team. Everything is situated in that hub. You can upload information. You can ask now. We call that AI Ask Richard. I know it's a bit cheesy. I apologize, but why not just say what it is? We've built AI in there. You can upload all your documents, your commercial invoice, but the hub is very unusual because yeah, everybody will try and copy our ideas. We're used to people copying all the time. It's just the way the world lives. People don't have their own ideas, unfortunately. Now they just nick other people's good ideas. So we're under no illusion that people will try and nick this idea, or our competitors will try and nick it. But what it does, what's different here, is that the whole team can use it. So sales can use it. Sales can ask questions. Sales can upload information. Sales can upload an inquiry form. Is this correct? Am I asking the right questions? We return it back. So it's got AI, but it's also got that human interaction in there. So we're still checking things. We're not just leaving it to AI. We're building the machine, but we're still checking documents. If you want us to check your commodity codes, upload your commodity codes. We check them. We give you a scoring system. Yeah, that's amber, that's red, that's green. Fine, leave them alone. Let's now start homing in on them. You can use the hub once you've done the customs diagnostics. It's the fee. You can use it yourself, or you can use it with a consultant. It's your choice. But it's like having your own customs compliance manager. You know how many companies who are growing can't afford or can't find the experience of a compliance person? That's the challenge. Well, this is the whole point of the hub. The hub is designed to help and support you on your journey. Very important. So again, once we understand that, and again, it's all about data. You've got the data. We just use the data that we understand how it works within international trade, in compliance, in commodity costs, put my teeth back in origin and all these key things. And we use the data to make it work for you. So again, we say get the data, get the edge, stay ahead. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you this week on our other podcast. Have a great day, and thank you.